So this is the Christian who will be the closest in love and affection for you. Which Christian people is Allah talking about? So you have to look for a Christian people who are still holding on to the monastic way of life. Where are they? Who are the Christians who to this day are holding on to monasticism? Even if you perceive them to be hostile to you now because of past grievances, the Quran cannot be false. You can change their hearts and tomorrow they'll be the closest in love and affection to you. Yes. I hope Egypt is listening. So you'll identify them, you recognize them because of the institution of monasticism. And then Allah says a fourth thing about them. But one more thing by which you can recognize this Christian with whom you will make an alliance. وَأَنَّهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ وَأَنَّهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. They're not an arrogant people. They don't want to rule the world. It's because they do not have arrogance stamped on their forehead. These are not a Christians who want to get the whole world to become carbon copies of themselves. Huh? They are not an arrogant people who believe that they have a birthright of superiority and that the rest of the world are like cockroaches. They're only natives and we have the burden to civilize the rest of the world. You can't study international relations and study the history of international politics without coming to face with this arrogance. The colonization of the rest of the world so that they can civilize the rest of the world. This is not Orthodox Christianity, not at all. When they launched their crusades, were they Christian crusades? Yes, it was a pope who launched them. But it didn't look at all like Christian crusades. No. Why? Because they were not only after Jerusalem, they had two goals they wanted. Number one was Jerusalem and number two was Constantinople. Yes, they wanted Constantinople. They wanted Orthodox Christianity to bend its knee before Rome. And in one of the crusades, perhaps it was the third, they did succeed in conquering Constantinople. And they held it for 80 years. They had Hagia Sophia, the greatest cathedral of Orthodox Christianity, under their control for something like 80 years, until the Orthodox Christians were successful in throwing them out. But they treated the Orthodox Christians with contempt. So I don't think this can qualify as a Christian crusade or Christian jihad. It looks more to me like a European jihad rather than a Christian jihad. Christianity of the West, you know it. You know Christianity of the West? Very easy to recognize it. It is a Christianity which believes in a fellow with a very big beard. The only one allowed to keep a beard. Everybody has to shave off their beard. But he's allowed to keep his beard. Big, big white beard. And once a year he comes on a reindeer running, flying through the sky. Yeah. Yeah. And he's in every shopping mall now. Every shopping mall. This is the Western Christianity. And they celebrate their Christmas on December 25th, but not the other one. The other Christianity does not have Christmas on 25th of December. And the other Christianity is the one which still has monasticism. You can say what you want about them, but you cannot dispute the fact that these are a people who are different from the West. That one in the West is arrogant. The arrogance of that Christianity in the West, which has allied itself with Jews in a Judeo-Christian Zionist alliance, is that it wants to transform the rest of the world into carbon copies of itself. So if you were to put on a sarong, nice for this kind of weather, sarong is very comfortable. Look at that native. Look at that native. If you want to be civilized, you got to dress the way we dress. You got to put on trousers and shirt and tie and a jacket, and then you are civilized. They want us to all become carbon copies of themselves. So if you serve me curry fish and rice that they eat with knife and fork and spoon and so on, and if we want to eat a nasi biryani and we wash our hands and eat, and I roll up my sleeve and I wash my hands, and like a good Malay, I eat with my hand, my fingers. That's the only way you could eat curry fish and rice. They say, what a barbarian he is. This is uncivilized. You should eat the way we eat, with cutlery. Yeah, curry fish and rice with cutlery. You must dress the way we dress. Take off that dirty beard from off your face. A civilized man is clean shaven. A civilized man wears a shirt and trousers and jacket and tie. I say that's arrogance. And there are many who say the same thing as that. That's arrogance. That we are people who when we want to do our numbers, pass urine and pass stool, we go outside. And they say if you do that outside, you are uncivilized, you must have a toilet inside. Huh? Who are these people? وَلَن تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودَ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. They are the Western European Judeo-Christian alliance. Well, I say to you, you can take your civilization and throw it in a garbage bin. Because I'm not impressed with your scientific and technological revolution and all this gadgetry that you're bringing to the world, when in your civilization, the highest thing you've ever achieved is a man can marry another man and get a marriage certificate. That is your highest achievement. A man can marry another man and get a marriage certificate, and yet everybody wants a visa to go and live amongst you. That is heaven. Who wants to go and live in Bangladesh? Who wants to go and live in Egypt? Who wants to go back to Algeria? No! That's heaven, where a man can marry another man and get a marriage certificate. Guess what Allah did to those who are doing that? Guess what He did to Sodom and Gomorrah? And guess what He's going to do to you tomorrow? Yes. He destroyed them with a destruction that sent them to the lowest part of the earth, with evidence of the remain forever. This is Allah's punishment on them. Sodom and Gomorrah, the people of Lut. And what He did to them, He'll do to this world. When you are content to live amongst the people who legitimize and legalize the marriage of a man with another man, that's your highest achievement. I went to Russia, and when I went to Russia, I saw lots of beards. Oh yes, lots of beards in Russia. These are not an arrogant people. They don't want to rule the world. They don't want to transform all of mankind into carbon copies of themselves. وَلَن تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودَ وَلَا النَّصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ. No, that's those Christians. These Christians are different. And because Russia is not prepared to submit. And China is not prepared to submit. It's going to checkmate them, and NATO can do nothing to stop it. Praise be to Allah, who allowed us to understand the Quran. They're going to be checkmated